You think you've seen it all in baseball? You think you know how a game is going to end? Think again. What if I told you that in a high-stakes, season-on-the-line battle, one team clawed its way back from the brink with an 8-run surge, stunning their opponents and igniting a playoff dream? Welcome to Baseball Extra, where we dissect the unthinkable and celebrate the heart of the game. Get ready, because this wasn't just a game. It was a roller coaster of emotions, a masterclass in resilience, and a brutal lesson in how quickly fortunes can turn. Welcome back to Baseball Extra, your ultimate destination for everything baseball. Tonight, we're diving deep into a clash that had massive implications for both the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. This wasn't just another regular season matchup. This was the pivotal second game of a crucial three-game series. And for both clubs, it felt like do or die. Coming into this contest, both the Cardinals and the Giants were teetering on the edge of elimination. Their playoff hopes, frankly, were on life support. This game wasn't about improving their standings. It was about sheer survival. The team that walked off the field as the loser tonight would see their postseason dreams officially extinguished. The pressure in the stadium was palpable, a heavy weight on every player, every coach, and every fan. You could cut the tension with a knife. For the San Francisco Giants, their hopes rested squarely on the shoulders of their seasoned right-handed ace, Logan Webb. This was Webb's 33rd start of the season, a true workhorse performance. He entered the game with a respectable 14 wins against 11 losses, showcasing his durability. But what truly stood out in his stat line was his impressive strikeout tally. 211 punchouts against just 44 walks. For the first time in his professional baseball career, Logan Webb had crossed that significant 200 strikeout mark, a testament to his evolution on the mound. However, there was a looming question mark. His ERA against the St. Louis Cardinals specifically. A 5.30 ERA against them was his highest against any major league opponent, a statistic that surely lingered in the back of Giants fans' minds. Could he overcome that historical struggle when it mattered most? The atmosphere was electric, but the start for Logan Webb and the Giants was anything but. Right from the first pitch, the St. Louis Cardinals unleashed an offensive torrent that immediately put the Giants on their heels. Brendan Donovan stepped to the plate, and what a start he had. He absolutely crushed one towards right field, a shot that curled away and landed right on the warning track. The Giants' Gilbert couldn't handle it cleanly, and just like that, Donovan was standing on second base with a leadoff double. A perfect start for St. Louis. This brought up Ivan Herrera, who had been on an absolute tear, hitting 2-run homers in each of the last 2 games. And wouldn't you know it, he continued his hot streak, driving the ball to right for a clean base hit. Donovan wisely held up at third. That ball just cleared the outstretched glove of Casey Schmidt at second base, leaving the Cardinals with runners at first and third with nobody out. The crowd was roaring, the pressure mounting. Next up was Alec Burrows, and the Cardinals kept the line moving. He hit a ground ball right up the middle, finding a hole. Burrows notched an RBI hit, sending Donovan home to score the first run of the game. Herrera, meanwhile, streaked around second, making it safely to third. 3 straight knocks for the Cardinals, and just like that, it was 1-0 in the first inning. Logan Webb had thrown just 9 pitches at this point, and incredibly, only 4 of them found the strike zone. Even more concerning, 3 of those 4 strikes had been hammered for base hits, a double and 2 singles. This was not the start the Giants, or Webb, had envisioned. Then came the dangerous Nolan Arenado. With the score 1-0 Cardinals, he squibed one towards first base. The Giants tried to turn 2, firing to second for 1, then to first for the double play. It was a successful double play, but it came at a cost. Herrera scored on the play. No RBI credited to Arenado, but the Giants conceded the second run. It was now 2-0 Cardinals. The Cardinals weren't done. Lars Nootbaar came to the plate and absolutely sent one flying to center. Young-Hoo Lee, the Giants center fielder, was on the run, still going back, way back to the 391-foot mark. He leaped, stretched, but couldn't quite get it. The ball smashed into the fence, and Nootbaar stood on second with a double. It might have fooled Lee a little bit, hit right at him, but he just couldn't catch up to it. Now, with 2 outs, Thomas Saggis had a chance to drive in another run, and he did just that. He smacked one towards left, which got down for a run-scoring hit, and Nootbaar galloped home. Saggis' long single made it 3-0 Cardinals. 5 hits in the first inning alone. Webb was struggling. You're 1 out from getting off the field, and then boom, back-to-back hits, and you're in another stress situation. This early offensive explosion for St. Louis was a game-changing moment. Webb finally ended the inning by striking out Victor Scotto on a backdoor slider, but the damage was done. 3 runs in the first, 5 hits, and the Giants were immediately playing from behind. As the game moved into the bottom of the second, the St. Louis Cardinals brought their starting pitcher, Andre Pallante, to the mound for what would be his final start of the 2025 season. Could he hold the early lead the Cardinals had so emphatically built? Matt Chapman led off for the Giants. Pallante, despite the early lead, was showing good stuff, striking out Chapman with a swing and a miss for his second K of the night. Then he faced Bryce Eldridge and again, a full count pitch, a swing, and a miss. Pallante's fastball was live, hitting 95 miles per hour, and he recorded his third strikeout. Things were looking solid for St. Louis. However, the tide began to turn in the bottom of the third. Nolan Arenado had joined the hit parade earlier, going 10 for 18 against Logan Webb in his career. He stole a base, his third in 3 attempts this year, showing his veteran savvy. But Webb managed to get his second strikeout of the night, catching a foul tip held on by Bailey. Now, enter Patrick Bailey. He had a favorable matchup against Pallante, batting 3 for 7 against him in his career, and Bailey delivered. He lined one to left field for a base hit, marking the first hit for the Giants. This was the spark they desperately needed. On a 3-2 pitch, Bailey took off, getting a good jump. The pitch was high for ball 4, but the throw was made anyway. Now the Giants had 2 runners on with nobody out. This was a massive opportunity. Casey Schmidt came to the plate and hit one up the middle, a clean base hit into center field. Bailey, being conservative, worked his way to third rather than trying to score. It was a smart base running play. Down 3 runs, you don't want to run yourself into a double play. But now, the bases were loaded for the Giants. A golden chance to get right back in this game. Elliot Ramos stepped up to the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. What an opportunity. He hit a ground ball to third, and in a chaotic sequence, Arenado tried to go home, but hit the runner. 2 runs scored on the play. It was a disaster for the Cardinals, a moment of miscommunication and rushed execution. The Giants scored 2 quick runs, making it 3-2. This was a heartbreaker for the Cardinals. You make your pitch, you get your ground ball, you think you're going to get that force out at home. But smart base running by Bailey made that throw incredibly tough. He ran on the inside of the grass, trying to get in the way, and it paid off. Luis Matos came to the plate, but he swung and missed, striking out. A big strikeout for the Cardinals, preventing further damage at that exact moment. But the Giants kept pushing. Thairo Estrada lined one into right center field for a base hit. Ramos, who was on second, rounded second and headed for third, and scored. Estrada's base hit tied the game at 3-3. Now, Matt Chapman, with a great opportunity for another Giants run. He hit a fly ball to center field, which was caught. But here came the throw home. It was on the money, yet it was cut off. The throw to third wasn't in time, and another run scored. The Giants had taken the lead. Ramos scored, Chapman with the sac fly. It was 4-3 Giants. Pallante then issued another walk, his second of the inning and second of the game. That was going to be all for Pallante. First and third, and Young-Hoo Lee was next. King came in to relieve him. The momentum had completely swung in favor of the San Francisco Giants. After a rough start, they had not only erased the 3-run deficit, but had taken a 4-3 lead, and they weren't done yet. Young-Hoo Lee, the Giants center fielder, stepped to the plate. Despite the ups and downs of his first full big league season, the baseball extra fans in the stands were behind the center fielder, and Lee delivered a long drive to center field, a base hit. Thairo Estrada scored, and Bryce Eldridge, running all the way from first, tore around and went to third. Just like that, it was 5-3 Giants. The Giants' offensive firepower was on full display. The Cardinals finally got out of the inning, but the damage was done. The Giants had scored 5 unanswered runs, showcasing their resilience after a brutal first inning. As we moved through the middle innings, both teams continued to battle. In the top of the 5th, Logan Webb was still on the mound. He showed his veteran grit, striking out Jordan Walker on a high 4-seam fastball, getting 2 quick outs. Elliot Ramos then lined a drive into left field for a 2-out single, giving Luis Matos a chance with a runner on. Matos responded with a base hit, and Ramos streaked around third. The Giants continued to chip away, adding to their lead. The Cardinals brought in Alcala to pitch against Thairo Estrada. Alcala showed his stuff, striking out Estrada with a nasty 99 miles per hour sinker. But Brendan Donovan, who was having an incredible night, came up again. He was 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles already. He lined one towards left center field that got down and rolled all the way to the wall. Donovan had his 3rd double of the night. This was 3 at-bats in a row where he was just hunting sinkers at the bottom of the zone and driving them. That was his 14th three-hit game of the season. He was absolutely red hot. Ivan Herrera continued his great play appearance, walking for the 42nd time this season, putting 2 on with nobody out for Alec Burrows. However, Burrows struck out looking on a slider. Despite the back and forth, Logan Webb hit a personal milestone. He recorded 200 innings pitched, his 3rd straight season achieving that mark, a true testament to his durability and importance to the Giants' pitching staff. As we got deeper into the game, the San Francisco Giants weren't content with just a 2-run lead. They were looking to blow it wide open and send a clear message. Matt Chapman led off for the Giants and delivered a fair ball down the line that went for a double. Chapman was on the move, heading into second with ease. With 2 outs, Patrick Bailey came up and hit a bloop into left field. It was falling, and it got in there. Then it bounced away off the left arm of Lars Nootbaar. Chapman came in to score, and Bailey, heading for second, slid in safely. It was now 6-3 Giants. Casey Schmidt, who had walked and scored a run earlier, was doing well. He hit a swing up the middle into center field for a base hit. Another run. Here came Bailey around third, and he scored. It was 7-3 Giants. The baseball extra crew could feel the momentum building to an insurmountable lead. Then came Elliot Ramos. He led off the inning, and what a swing it was. There was a shot, way back, headed for Berkeley. Adios, pelota, the 20th home run of the year, emphatically hit by Elliot Ramos. The Giants were now up 8-3. This was not just any home run. It was a significant milestone for Elliot Ramos. He became the first Giants left fielder to hit 20 home runs since the legendary Barry Bonds did it way back in 2007. What an incredible achievement for the young slugger. The Giants were celebrating. It felt like victory was within their grasp. With an 8-3 lead in the 7th inning, the San Francisco Giants brought in a new pitcher, the left-hander Joey Lucchesi, to face Jordan Walker. For Baseball Extra, this looked like a routine managerial move to close out a commanding lead. But this is baseball, and as we all know, nothing is ever truly routine. Jordan Walker used the big part of the field, hitting a wide drive to right center. He was rewarded with an extra base hit, flying around first and safely to second with a double. That was the Cardinals' 5th double of the game, a sign of their continued offensive threat, even when trailing significantly. Lucchesi then walked Victor Scott too, putting runners on first and second. The Cardinals decided to let Lucchesi face Ivan Herrera, who had a 323 average against Southpaws. The announcer predicted it. One swing of the bat here can make things very interesting in this ball game. And boy, was he right. Herrera hit a high fly ball, deep left. Ramos was going back, and that ball just crept over the wall. A 3-run homer. Herrera did it again, his 8th home run in September. Just as predicted, one swing of the bat made it a very interesting game. It was now 8-6. The Giants' seemingly insurmountable lead had been cut in half. Lucchesi's night was over after that fateful pitch. The Cardinals weren't done. Nolan Arenado came up, and for Baseball Extra, this was where the narrative truly shifted. He preyed on the new pitcher, Bivens, with a swing and a drive down the line. We had a 1-run game. It was Arenado's 352nd career home run, his 11th of the season. The Cardinals had hit 2 homers in the 7th inning alone. This was his first home run since June 21st against the Reds, a long-awaited blast that ignited the Cardinals' dugout. It was now 8-7, and the air was thick with tension. The Giants' once comfortable lead felt incredibly precarious. This was the true comeback kid moment for St. Louis. As we entered the bottom of the 9th inning, the San Francisco Giants brought in their closer, Ryan Walker, to try and shut the door and save Logan Webb's 15th win. But the Cardinals had beaten Walker on September 6th in St. Louis, and he hadn't even gotten an out in that appearance. There was history here, and the Baseball Extra team felt a sense of dread. Victor Scott, too, a very fast runner, led off for the Cardinals. He hit a line drive to left. Get down ball, and it did. Victor Scott represented the tying run. The tying run was on base, and with Scott's incredible speed, anything was possible. Then came Brendan Donovan, who was having a truly phenomenal night with 3 doubles and 4 trips to the plate. He hit a shot to the right field corner. Go, Victor, go. Scott rounded second and was on his way to third. The third base coach waved him home. Here came the relay throw to the plate. It was up the line. Donovan, with 4 doubles, had tied the game. Brendan Donovan did it again. 4 doubles in the ball game. What a day at the plate for Brendan Donovan. He was the true hero of this nail-biting finish. Scott was on his way to third. One out, and Alec Burrows came up, looking to get the ball in the air. On a 2-2 count, he delivered a base hit. Burrows put the Cardinals in front. A rocket to right, and it was 9-8 St. Louis with one out in the ninth inning. Ryan Walker had faced 4 hitters and allowed 3 hits. The Giants' once dominant lead had vanished. The tying run for the Giants was at second base with 2 outs. Wilmer Flores stepped to the plate. The Cardinals' faithful held their breath. Flores swung, and he got it. The Cardinals had completed what seemed like an impossible comeback. They scored 6 unanswered runs and beat the Giants 9-8. Brad, my co-commentator, exclaimed, "We're still alive." And indeed, they were for the San Francisco Giants. This was a profoundly disappointing loss. They had an 8-3 lead in this one, a lead that, by all accounts, should have secured them the win. When you have an 8-3 lead, especially in a game with such high stakes, you're supposed to win. But the Cardinals, through sheer grit and a relentless offensive surge, proved that in baseball, no lead is ever truly safe. This was a brutal reminder of the game's unpredictable nature, a classic baseball comeback that will be talked about for years to come. What an absolutely unbelievable game. From the Cardinals' early explosion to the Giants' powerful rally, and then that stunning 6-run unanswered comeback by St. Louis in the late innings. This wasn't just a game of baseball. It was a testament to the emotional roller coaster that this sport can be. The Cardinals, against all odds, kept their playoff hopes alive, while the Giants were left to ponder what could have been. Thank you for joining us here on Baseball Extra for this incredible recap. If you love this deep dive into one of the most dramatic games of the season, make sure you show us some love. Hit that like button if you were on the edge of your seat, and definitely subscribe to Baseball Extra for more in-depth analysis, game recaps, and all the latest news from around the league. Your support helps us bring you more of the content you love. We'll see you next time on Baseball Extra.